Welcome to pile number 1. The Three of Pentacles shows three figures gathered beneath the arched ceiling of a cathedral: an architect, a monk, and a craftsman, heads bent together over a shared set of plans. What makes this image quietly powerful is the equality in it. No single figure holds all the knowledge. The work requires all of them, and the building rises only because each one is willing to both contribute and listen. If you chose this pile, the lesson that will keep finding you until something shifts lives precisely in that dynamic. The pattern at risk of repeating is one of isolation dressed up as independence. There is a version of you that resists collaboration, not out of arrogance necessarily, but perhaps out of a deep-rooted belief that relying on others leads to disappointment, or that your vision will be diluted if you let someone else's hands touch it. And so you carry more than you need to, work harder than the situation requires, and then feel quietly unseen when the results don't reflect the effort you alone put in. The ache of that is real, and it will keep returning until the belief underneath it is examined honestly. What this card asks you to change is not your standards or your work ethic. Those are genuine strengths. It asks you to reconsider the story you hold about what it means to need people. The cathedral in this image could not have been built by one pair of hands. Neither can the life you are actually trying to build. Letting others in is not a compromise. It is the architecture. Welcome to pile number 2. The Six of Pentacles is a card of giving and receiving, and its image holds a tension that is easy to miss on first glance. A merchant stands tall, scales balanced in one hand, coins dropping from the other into the outstretched hands of two kneeling figures. The scales suggest fairness, but the posture tells a different story, one of imbalance, of a power differential so embedded in the scene that no one in it appears to be questioning it. If you chose this pile, the lesson that will keep circling back to you lives somewhere inside that imbalance. The pattern here points to an unexamined relationship with giving and receiving, one that has likely shaped more of your life than you have fully traced. You may find yourself repeatedly in dynamics where the flow runs only one way. Either you are always the one giving, stretching yourself thin to keep others afloat while quietly waiting for a reciprocity that never quite comes, or somewhere deeper, a pattern of accepting less than you deserve because need has made the receiving feel like debt. Both versions of this lesson wear the same face over time. The circumstances change, the people, the context, the scale of it, but the essential dynamic reappears, faithful as the tide. What needs to change is the internal measure you use to assign your own worth in relation to others. True abundance, the kind this card is pointing toward, flows freely in both directions. You are allowed to receive without shrinking. You are allowed to give without disappearing. Learning the difference between generosity and self-erasure is the work this card is asking of you. Welcome to pile number 3. The King of Swords sits on his stone throne with his sword raised upright, not in aggression, but in a kind of absolute authority. His gaze is direct, almost uncomfortably so. The clouds behind him move, the wind stirs, but he does not. He has decided what is true, and nothing in the landscape is going to persuade him otherwise. There is immense power in that quality, and there is also, if it goes unexamined, a particular kind of loneliness that follows it everywhere. The lesson that will repeat for you if nothing changes is one about the relationship between your mind and your heart. Specifically, about what happens when one is consistently asked to override the other. The King of Swords in this position suggests a pattern of retreating into intellect when emotion feels unsafe, of needing to be the most clear-headed person in every room, of defaulting to logic and analysis in situations that are quietly asking for vulnerability instead. It is a deeply human coping mechanism, and it has probably served you well in many contexts, but it will keep generating the same friction, in relationships, in creative pursuits, in any space where being known matters, until the armor is looked at honestly. There is also something here about the way truth is wielded. The King's sword cuts cleanly, and that precision can be a gift. But delivered without warmth, the truth has a way of closing doors rather than opening them. The repeated lesson may arrive as disconnection, as the feeling of being respected but not truly reached. What changes that is not lowering your standards for clarity. It is learning to let people see the person holding the sword.